The story that we are now talking about, building bridges and not walls, reminds me about the Great Wall in Berlin, which during my lifetime was demolished. Till then, East Germany and West Germany had no connection. They spoke the same language. They had even the same forefathers. They had the same culture, the same religion, same thought process. And yet, East and West never met. All these ideas of great walls have been thought of over the period of ages. The Great Wall of China. What was it for? It was to protect the country from other people to come. And what does it really mean? It means that you get great protection by putting a wall because you're protecting it from somebody else. But unless you can actually connect with the other side, you can never have peace, tranquility, happiness, and connect. This is not true only of countries, but also of relationships, of families, of people. The families have walls between them. Sometimes physical walls. You divide the houses and make it into two. And a bigger house is made into two smaller ones. And you again have a division in the home. So, the idea of building bridges instead of creating walls is something which is so important to this world. We have to constantly think about it. And the more I think about it today, the more I believe it is so important to life itself. Look at the kind of wars that have now been created. Because there are walls between people. Russia, Ukraine. Many of them speak the same language in those areas. Even then, there's a war going on. I was asked to quote at that point of time as to what do you think this war will happen in result. I said, don't worry, it's a 10-day war, we should get over. Now it's more than 2 years and we are still at war in Russia and Ukraine with thousands and thousands of people who have died and billions of dollars being spent just for nothing, where we could really have got peace. Look at the issue which is taking place in the Middle East, where instead of having bridges, we have walls between Israel, Jerusalem, and all these areas where the Hamas have created wars. And they've used religion, which is supposed to bind people, to actually divide people. The big difference that we see is that we have to now relearn to connect with people. Connect with individuals, maybe at the family level. Connect also at the local level and also connect at the national level. And why do I say local level? Because when we are together, we talk about my family, my cousin's family. We talk about people who are Muslims, who are Hindus, who are Sikhs, and who are different religions. And again, you create a wall between them. You need to bridge that great divide that we really got to see. And that's extremely important for us to understand the divisions that are taking place in various facets of our lives. And we divide in various ways. North Indian to South Indian, color, caste, creed, every possible way of making divisions. So it becomes a practice in our life that we need to divide me and they. There is no real truth in all that because it ultimately is devastating. It has caused multiple wars and we are now spending billions and billions of dollars on defense and wars for actually achieving no objective. Let me share with you some statistics. Today, the total investment in arms is $2.2 trillion per year. $2.2 trillion. The United States spends 850 billion, China spends 377 billion, Russia spends 121 billion, India spends 111 billion, Japan spends 57 billion, and so on and so forth. If all this money was used for the purposes of taking care of the people who don't have food, clothing, shelter, and health, we would be in a different situation completely. Just one thought of not having wars in the air, where we created the United Nations, which was supposed to bring together and bridge all the countries of the world. So important in order to say, build the bridges instead of the walls that divide and between. We had earlier the Cold War, the East versus West, but we have now real wars, as we have talked about. India and Pakistan have been divided. And what's the point? We are still continuing to have dissensions between each other. We need to build bridges between our two countries in trade, commerce, and understanding of what we really need to do. India and Pakistan both would be happier countries, if not anything else that is there. This unity in diversity becomes extremely important for us to understand at all levels that we are talking about. The families are much more important because that's the closeness that we need to do, the division of families. The new method of life is nuclear families. And yet the benefit of building bridges with the earlier generations and with the next generations become equally important. The culture, the language, the habits, the caring for people who are not so well off within the families becomes so important in order to build these bridges that we need to continue to understand and see. Respect diversity of thought, diversity in terms of different ideas that we need to do. The world progresses when we absorb diversity of ideas and thoughts. In some countries, you have people who are skilled in certain ideas. Other countries are skilled in labor. So different people have different qualities and characteristics. If we can build bridges through the world, we can all prosper tremendously. And that's extremely important for us to build the bridges. India today, for instance, provides engineers, software engineers to the world, CEOs to large multinational corporations. And on the reverse side, the United States gives us a possibility of higher technology inputs that we can dwell on and take it to the next level. Bridges become so important to do instead of the division of walls that we need to do. So we all need to learn how to do these bridges. We all need to learn how to reduce tension, whether it's in the family, or it is at the social level, or it is at the national level, or it is at the international level that we need to do. If we build bridges at each of these levels, the world will be a better place, a happier place, a more comfortable place, a more prosperous place, a greater place where we would be absolutely delighted to live. We'll be able to improve the quality of our life, may not improve the length of our life, but I promise you that those people who are living in countries where the war is on, for them even the length of life will become important if we don't have these kind of wars that we really need to do. When we save these trillions of dollars, we can spend more money on public health, education, improving quality of life in the cities that are so congested and otherwise, and all that can be used lucrative. Keep building bridges. It's so important. So many countries have refugees which are coming. Same thing is happening in the case of the Middle East, where the people are struggling in small areas because the refugees are coming, because the wars have been created between the countries, and other countries would be able to absorb all these people. So all that and more is extremely important for us to do. So whether it is at the family level, whether it's at the social friendship level, whether it's at the school levels, whether whether it is at the institutional levels where we work and earn, whether it's at any level that we need to talk, whether it's the political level, and that's the most important part of it all, because the politicians decide for us the direction in which we are going. And this is where we are very, very fortunate in India, that we have a government which is now interested in order to bring together the people of the world. Prime Minister Modi talks about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. He talks about the world is one family. We need to bring about all of us together. When there was dissensions in the Russia-Ukraine war, we even purchased oil from Russia. It saved us 80,000 crores of rupees in order to do that. One action of balancing and maintaining a bridge created value proposition. But it's not the value that is important. What is important is if you create one nation in this entire world, it will create positiveness, health, prosperity, happiness, and wonderful things. So I would wish that at every level of our lives, we continue to seek that direction, to build bridges in all possible ways and destroy all the walls that exist in this world. It came down with the Berlin Wall. We need to bring down not only the physical walls, but also the mental walls. The walls which actually cause divisiveness. We need to bring the world as one unity on earth. I wish all the very best to each one of you, because it is the effort of each one which is important. Don't only wait for the politicians to do it. You can do it in your own family, and you